Right, it's you.
Yep.
Thought it was. All right, I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic
for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The Texas pledge. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Let us pray. Our Father, we just come to you thanking you for allowing us to gather today. We just ask your wisdom, pour over us as we make decisions for the county. Continue to watch over our first responders and keep them safe as they protect Hutchinson County and our areas. In your name we pray, amen.
Amen.
That's too bad. Sorry to hear that.
Okay.
That's why I put it. Put it like right here.
Okay, the first item on the agenda is public comments. Did you check to see if there?
Yes,
No?
they're on.
No, okay. Anybody want to say anything? No, okay. All right, item 3, consider and or approve our minutes from our previous commissioners court meeting.
No corrections or additions to the special meeting on August 7th, 2023, or regular meeting on August 14th, 2023.
Okay, do I hear a motion?
I move to approve the minutes from the last commissioners court meeting.
And I'll second
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Item 4, consider and or approve the county auditor's tabulated report to the commissioners court. Everyone have a chance to review? Any questions, discussion? Do I hear a motion?
Move to approve the county auditor's report as presented.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Okay, and our work session to review the bills. Did everybody have a chance to review? And anyone have any questions or comments on those?
What is the, for Jeremy Bland, that on-site sewage, what is that?
He's the one that does our inspections.
Oh, okay. And then I had another question about, some of the deputies' cars were hauled to refinishing systems to
Yeah.
change a tire. They had to haul the cars in there.
I guess they had to tow them because they couldn't.
Huh. It'd be cheaper to just have somebody come out. Maybe it's on a weekend or something.
I don't get it.
I don't know.
I didn't understand. That's a couple of things I didn't understand, so. I'll just have to ask.
Any other
Yeah.
questions on the budget? Do I hear a motion to approve, or I mean, on the bills? Do I hear a motion to approve the bills?
I move to approve the bills as presented.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Item 7 is to consider and or approve payroll.
I had no payroll at this time, but I do have some changes. We had some new employees, Jordan Duke, a part-time lineman at the airport. Sarah Price, she was hired August 1st at the evidence clerk. Anthony Aguero, I don't know how to say the whole thing, but he was hired August 1st as a lineman in the airport. And then we had some separated employees, Jacqueline Lozier, Sydney Hux in the adult probation, Oscar Rojas in the sheriff's office, and then the part-time lineman, Jordan Duke.
So we hired him and then he
He
left.
was hired and then he left, so he'll be looking for another part-time lineman.
Okay,
So
all right.
whether he wants to post or not, he doesn't have to. So
Okay, all right, thank you.
you're very welcome.
Okay, item 8 on the agenda is to consider and or approve hiring Rachel Olias for the Hutchinson County Extension Agent, Family and Communications Health. So y'all remember Josh Brooks?
Yes.
And I've said Rochelle 40 times before I got here.
Rochelle.
Yes,
I always want to call you Rachel.
I do too. Rochelle. Oh,
But we never call Leisha either,
You
so,
got the last thing right. That's the hardest part.
yeah, I knew that part.
Yes, that's the hardest part. We do have Rochelle here. She has a bachelor's degree from West Texas A&M in education. She's been in education for 27 years. She's a lifelong resident of Hutchinson County. And so I think it's been a godsend. This thing has been open for almost a year, almost a year. And I'm ready for it to be filled. We've had things fall through several times. I had somebody really good, I thought, in January. That fell through, and then the June hire fell through too. And so I think Rochelle, she had a deal at the school that made her be available for employment. And so we needed somebody. So I think this is going to be very, very good. She's got inside track to the schools, or at least in order. And so I think that we can boost some of our 4-H enrollments up that way. She's got a great personality. She ought to be a great addition to the Hutchinson County office. And so I present to y'all Rochelle Olias. Y'all's portion of the salary is $27,184. Her start date is September the 1st, but she will not be on y'all's payroll until October the 1st. Okay. She will do first step at Carson County with Edie Bradford. Don't know Edie.
Yes.
Edie will kind of help train her along, get her going on things. She will go to Discover Extension September the 5th through the 9th. And so we'll train her on all things extension. They'll kind of indoctrinate her into the Aggie way too, which hurts my feelings. So she'll do that, and then she'll be full-time for y'all on October the 1st. Now, y'all will see her in the courthouse starting September the 1st here and there. She'll probably need a key fob and all that thing right here close, but for September the 1st, but she won't be officially working for y'all until October the 1st. Okay.
Oh, awesome.
Yes.
And on that salary that you have,
Yes.
I'm showing 29 that's budgeted. Do you want to do the 27?
Yes, ma'am. Let's back that
That down. to
that's $27,184. That'll save y'all a little bit
Okay,
there, and then we
we're
can
still
move
doing
up as we go.
And then Carlisle still the same.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yeah, all of those things. Yes, should be the same.
perfect. Thank
Okay.
you very much.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Thanks for being here, y'all.
Can we get a photo?
Yeah,
We haven't done it yet, though.
we gotta. So do I hear a motion to approve?
Move to approve the hiring of Rochelle. I almost said Rachel. You would have killed Rochelle Olias for county. You just said it though, and all right. I move to approve Rochelle Olias for the extension agent in family and community health.
And I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Okay, all right, great. Do you want to grab that picture real quick? Yes, ma'am. Okay, let's just get right here in the middle.
Gosh, tell Edie not to scare us.
Y'all go. All right, so up there.
Rochelle, you can just stand here in the middle.
Okay.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm so excited. Thank you.
Thank you.
It says me.
Maybe, do they need to stop by your office or?
Yes, that's ready for her.
Okay, so you take her down to the treasurer's.
Oh, man.
Gonna have to go.
Well, I brought my notes. Draw. Okay, we are on item 9, which is to consider and or approve copier maintenance agreement with Tascosa Office Machines. This is who Carrie has her copier with. She's had it for years and it's just a renewal. Now she was getting with Craig. He hasn't actually seen this or approved it, but I think if y'all are okay with it, we could go ahead and approve pending his okay.
She actually owns her copy machine and this is
Okay.
just an annual.
Kind of renewal,
Maintenance
maintenance renewal.
renewal.
Yeah.
Yes.
So do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion that we continue the copier maintenance with Pasco's office machines.
Pending Craig's okay?
Yeah, pen is okay.
All right.
Or second.
Yeah, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Okay, thank you. All right, item 10 is to consider and or approve the interlocal agreement with the City of Rich Animal Control. And Kaylin is here. Did you have anything on that?
I'll just let you know that there's already a dog at the pound.
At the Frick Pound?
Yes, ma'am, it was impounded sometime last week.
Okay.
I had no knowledge of it. So I'll just let you know that it was done prior to the agreement being approved by y'all. So
And Craig has already,
already approved it
Yes.
and yes, ma'am, it's ready to go. It's been signed by the council.
Yes.
Council.
any discussion on that?
So on these, do you know how many I know we had talked about just like, just certain rare circumstances.
It's only
How many-
supposed to be emergency situations only. As far as I know, only the two at Worker. And now this one at Bridge.
Okay.
So,
And do you know the circumstances around?
no, ma'am, I was not advised of.
Oh, okay. We don't know why the dog was picked up. Okay, any further discussion on that or questions?
But they're gonna-
for Kaylin?
Sorry. I didn't mean to-
No, go ahead.
This is gonna be, that dog and Fritch is gonna be according to this agreement? Or how's that?
That will be completely up to, well, I guess once the bill comes in, if it wants to, I'm assuming that Mr. Sheets believed that it was already approved.
Right, since they had already,
Because they had already approved it, but I did let animal control know that it had not been approved by the county. Until today, if it was approved, so. I told her to bill for it. That one, so I guess that will be up to the county to.
Okay.
Whether they want. to come to that.
So they're all gonna go through you or should, like, as the
Should,
animals,
yes.
right? Okay,
Should.
right.
any further discussion?
Put that in the agreement to contact our, I said, I wish we would have put that in the agreement to contact our animal. What's your title? The animal control?
And animal services deputy.
Yeah. I don't think we did.
And I visited with animal control.
And so they know to call you.
I've advised her, yes, to call me or make sure that I've been contacted prior to going out to the county.
Thanks for your work on this. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Anybody else have any questions? Do I hear a motion?
I move to approve the interlocal agreement with the City of Bridge Animal Control.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor? No. Okay, item 11 is to consider and or approve the UniFirst agreement. So we had this on the agenda last time and we haven't heard back from Craig, but we've heard back from Craig on this and he gave a couple of suggestions. So for the non-disclosure, Dwayne sent that to UniFirst. UniFirst hasn't been back to him yet. So he just requested that we put it off till the September meeting. So do I hear a motion to table that?
Move to table.
Okay.
Move to table the UniFirst agreement until next meeting.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Okay, thanks. All right, item 12 is to consider and or approve the correctional communications service agreement. This is, Monica, the phones in the jail? Right, okay. And Craig has reviewed this and given his approval. They made some changes at his request and he's given his approval on this. Do I hear a motion?
I move to approve the correctional communication service agreement.
Now second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Okay, thank you. All right, item 13 is to consider and or approve any ARP grant projects. We have one project which is submitted by Dwayne for the road and bridge for a lift. It's a rotary lift, so they can do maintenance on their vehicles. I think he sent a quote, excuse me, an estimate that he got from Stansberry
Oh.
Equipment. Huh?
80.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's 8976. And Dwayne emailed me this morning and said they were trying to get Hansford County finished up, and that's why he's not here today. So he thought they'd be done by tomorrow over there.
Which barn is that gonna go in? You know?
Yeah, I'm sure the Borger barn, that's where they do
Okay.
most of their work. Anyone have any questions on that or discussion? Do I hear a motion?
I move to approve the jacks for the lift at the Borger Barn, Road and Bridge.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. In-
Can I just point out
Yes,
where we need to pay that from?
yes.
I think the LATCF funds would be a great place to pay it out of there.
Yeah, that sounds great to
Sounds
me.
good.
Okay, we'll add that into the
Doesn't really
motion.
fit in any of the other budget line items.
Okay, yeah, we'll just put that in the motion, but you got it. Okay. All right, so we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Okay, item 14 is to consider and or approve the burn ban or rescind the burn ban. So I talked to Jerry Saturday and he said we're still under the required KBDI. So, but he said, this week will probably make a huge difference. Whether we get the rain they're predicting, which is like 10%, 90% chance it won't rain. So, but he said no change for now. All right, item 15 is to consider and or approve disposal of obsolete office equipment. So I have a request from the Sheriff's Department for a Gateway laptop. I may not have sent that to y'all because I just realized I missed that one. And then we have some chairs that are in the probation department. Did you get your chair, Tammy? Okay. Yeah. Jennifer had sent out a list and said, hey, if anyone wants one. And so Tammy took one of the chairs and no one spoke up for the rest. So we'll need to dispose of them. And then I think there was something else. Hold on. Oh, juvenile department had a couple of things. Oh, no, just a printer. Yeah, a printer. And the tag office had a barcode bill detector, a calculator, a couple of earpieces. I think y'all got those lists. And I think that's it. So do I hear a motion to dispose of those?
I move to authorize the disposal of listed items as presented.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Okay, thank you. All right, item 16 is to accept certificates of completion from elected or appointed officials.
I had one, Amanda Wassong, Justice of the Peace Precinct 2, submitted certificate for 80 hours of judicial education from 2022 to 2023.
17, consider and or approve request for use of the club rooms at the Borger Library or Fritz.
I just have one for October 2nd.
Okay.
For the meeting of the volleyball girls.
Oh, okay.
Posted by, no.
All right.
Thank you.
Well, this, traditionally, we haven't had a motion on this, but it does say consider and or approve. So do I hear a motion to approve that?
I move to approve that. I move that.
What he said.
Okay, so I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Yeah.
Oh, so we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
I think it's cool you're using a laptop, Jen.
She's getting used to it.
And I didn't bring mine today. Mine's packed.
Okay, we just got carried forward an email that Craig reviewed that task goes and he's good with it.
It does sound like today's the first day she learned.
I mean, during the meeting,
Okay, item 18, consider and or approve line item changes, transfers and or budget amendments.
We had one budget amendment. We received a supplement on a previous claim for one of the sheriff vehicles. So that is just amended and to add that into the repair and maintenance line item to offset the cost that we've already paid.
Okay.
And then there are two requests to move money out of the contingency line item. One is to cover the mental health care out of the county judge number. And I put in one request for $10,000 because it's $10,000 over right now. So her department is over, her complete department, because she doesn't have enough of the other line items to offset it. We've been doing a lot of mental
Yes, we've
health
had
assessments.
unusual amount of mental health amendments this year.
And so that's to cover the overage right now and to kind of finish out the year. And then the other request out of the contingency is Commissioner Brock requested to move some to transfer to the museum to cover the new HVAC unit.
That's the one I talked about last time. That's completely out. I did speak with, did I say that? Bring it to the court that I did talk to them. They said the compressor blew. And so they think that if they just change that compressor, there's old material in the lines probably, so they can't warranty anything. So they recommended a full replacement. And that the papers on that one was late 80s. So it was about time.
Oh, wow.
It's old enough.
That's a lot. That's a long time.
Yeah, in about 2 years. There's one that's there in 93, but that one, I don't think I knew where the closet was on that one. So I didn't even know that one existed until it went out. So about 2 years, we'll replace the one from 93 and then should be kind of on a rotating scale, one every 10, 15 years.
And so that will leave $128,026 in contingency after taking those two requests out. And then the rest are just from various departments, moving from one line item to another. To cover expenses.
Any questions or comments on the amendments? Changes? Do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve the line item changes, transfers and budget amendments.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor? All right, item 19, consider and or approve advertising, opening, accepting or awarding bids.
I have one, it's to go out for bid for the repair on the bridge, road and bridge barn. For the hail damage that was received. I'm planning on advertising it on the 1st and the 8th. With the bid opening being September the 18th.
Hey, do I hear a motion?
I move to approve the authorization of going out for a bid for the roof repair at the county barn precinct 2.
For a second.
Second,
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Can I say Alicia did a great job on the RFP, by the way? It's really good.
Item 20, consider and or approve donations to Hutchinson County. No, okay. Item 21, consider and or approve reports from elected or appointed officials.
I have two, the Hutchinson County Child Welfare Board submitted revenue and expense report as of July 31st, 2023. And then Dwayne Chisholm, Road Superintendent, submitted written report for dates August 14th, 2023 through August 27th, 2023. That's it.
Okay, do I hear a motion to approve?
I move to approve those reports.
No, it's like,
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor? All right, item 22, discussion of the county judges and commissioners precinct daily operations.
I got one thing, back when we did all the vehicle stuff, the one Tahoe from the sheriff's department
That needed the transmission.
that had the transmission done, and that's it needs engine work and a fender fix, let's go to IT. Okay. To get it fixed now from the engine work, so it can go to IT, it's supposed to be $8,162.
We had the transmission fixed.
So we're gonna have probably close to $15,000 in this Tahoe.
That has 150,000 miles on it.
It's got 143,533 miles on it. So first question is, it should already be traded off, gone because the miles, but or it should be. So do we want to fix it or do we?
well, if there's $8,000 worth of repairs being done,
And this was after the 7,000 that we put into it.
Of course, that's already
Yeah.
paid, so we can't
Right.
talk about that, but
yeah, but
To
is
get
that
it-
gonna make the engine work another
well,
150?
this just fixed camshaft, so
Oh,
it's an electronic problem that caused the problem with it. It's not a abuse problem, but you got to decide first whether it's gonna cost $81.62 to get it out of the shop. So do we want to spend that or not spend that, or what do we want to do with it?
still be cheaper than buying a new one.
So.
how many, that might be Josh question, how many miles do they put a year on their vehicles?
Who?
IT.
Well-
12,000. 12.
Yeah.
When we were talking about this earlier and I proposed we buy them both new vehicles,
Well,
said 12,000.
that's a different discussion, but for this vehicle, 143,000 miles, yeah, they get a year or 2 or 3 out of it, I don't know, but the pickup that's supposed to this is replacing is Russell's old pickup is supposed to go to courthouse for a courthouse pickup, and then the courthouse pickup is supposed to be disposed of, got rid of, sold. So we
What
can,
happens to Josh's pickup?
Josh's pickup's already went to the airport.
Oh,
It's at the airport.
well, what are you driving?
Russell.
Oh, that's right. Okay, yeah,
But Russell's pickup is supposed to go to the courthouse.
to the courthouse,
To replace the one at the courthouse.
right.
Which we can't do that unless we do this. So
We got to figure out what we're going to do with this.
we need to figure out what we do with this before we can finish the rest of it.
Mhm.
But if you don't fix it, what are you gonna do with it?
You just lose the transmission money.
Well, I already paid this.
Okay. And that fix is not so like deeply mechanical that I mean, after we do this, if we do this fix, I think we get several years out of it.
Well,
Push that.
we do the transmission. This ain't doing the whole engine. This is just doing
It'd be hard.
a small part of it,
But that doesn't include that fender that needs to be
yeah,
fixed.
yeah, The engine is $63.99. The fender is $17.62. I didn't say that, but $17.62 is for a ding on the right front fender. That includes fixing that. But the total is $81.62. And the second question is how we pay for it. If we decide to pay for it.
Thoughts? Discussion?
I think since we've already paid for the transmission, we might as well fix them.
And those miles are, I mean, they're soft miles. They're not hard on the engine, or they shouldn't be. Don't be driving too crazy, Josh.
I mean, the engine problem now is,
I know, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Get rid of
It's
it.
an emergency.
so. I would say go ahead and fix it
Yeah, me
and
too.
get some use out of it, and next year or two, have to decide what to do with them.
What are our options for paying for it?
Contingency.
We have money in the contingency, I guess.
Can we do contingency, or we could do ARP, or we could do whatever?
Well, didn't we already pay for the transmission in the ARP?
Yes, we did. That's before the sheriff turned it over.
Right.
It should last for a while.
On a if we do it out of contingency, what we'll do is transfer it out of contingency to the sheriff's line item, since it's still in their possession. They'll make the repairs, and then we need to.
Well, hasn't that actually already been turned over to IT since they've got their cars? It's not really the sheriff's anymore.
The sheriff's the one that took it to the shop, right? I mean, if it's coming, I mean, it doesn't matter. I just need to know which line item to put the contingency money into. And since it's technically in the possession of the sheriff's department right now, they're the ones who took it to the thing. They know that, you know, they can approve the invoice. It's not coming really out of their budget because we're moving. contingency money over there to cover it. We don't pay anything out of the contingency line item. We always just move that money from that line item to, so I either need to move it to the sheriff's department vehicle maintenance, or I need to move it to IT vehicle maintenance. Either way.
Put it in the sheriff's if that's easier.
That's what I would say. Move it to the sheriff, since they're the ones that took it to the shop. Yeah. Are y'all good with that? Okay, anything else going on in y'all's precincts?
So the roof at the library is, I'm gonna have to walk it this week and sign off on it. 2 weeks ago, now that Nancy knows, Nancy was on medical leave, and so we didn't mention this to her because she wasn't released. I know she would show up. When we got that rain last 2 weekends ago, the roof, now that it tapers, goes into those roof drains, and it exposed a joint in our 4-inch drain system that's in the ceiling greatly enough that it put over 200 gallons into our library. So got to stay up there until about 2 a.m. with Apollinar, and he pulled out over 200 gallons. Like I said, about over 400 books were destroyed, but everything else was okay. Like the carpet, they didn't have, it's like this, it's straight onto the tile. So it's not going to be compromised because we got the fans and the dehumidifier in there pretty quick. We're going to file a claim with insurance on the books and the water removal. The roofing company, since I don't think they were to blame. They said that the water, it sat up there for a long time and it wasn't driving it to those drains. And he thinks that it exposed an issue that was there because there was an access hole. That roof is there's a metal grid with the stucco type of stuff put on it. And so they've cut a hole out there, and there was a joint where they've done some work and it did come loose. And so we're going to file a claim on that. They're going to pay a little bit as well. I didn't want to try to make them pay everything because I don't think punishing them for doing a good job was appropriate. But tomorrow I'm going to have a guy on site that there are some other spots on the ceiling that had some water residue that I think there's some other issues in that pipe. And instead of cutting a hole in the ceiling and removing that 4-inch pipe, which would be a nightmare, there's a new, or fairly new technology where it's like a resin lined sewer, or like a drain lining where they go in and blow it through the line from the drains. And so I think that one's fairly expensive, but it beats having to cut a hole in our roof or our ceiling and replace about 35 foot of pipe. So I'm gonna get an estimate on him. He said about 10 to 11,000 probably to do that, but I think that's less than what it would take to have to replace the whole thing. So they go in from the drain access with the air bladder and they inflate a resin lined, well, they clean it out first. He said there's a lot of residue in there. They go in and they shoot that resin lining down the pipe. And once it hardens, it's basically a new pipe. So I think that would be the easiest way. They want to do a water flush test to make sure there's no other issues. The roofing company does, and I want to get that done before we do that because there's a lot of water. And I have the video I recorded that night if you want to see it, but that's where we're at on that. I'll probably ask possibly for that project to either be ARP or contingency, that 11 to 12,000 on that. And then
So
possibly.
do we anticipate that once all of this is said and done, that we'll be where we need to be with that roof and that
Absolutely, yeah.
won't have any more?
So the roof, I don't think caused the issue, and it was water
just
sat
that
up
pipe?
there and no water was going to the drains. It was just all sitting there and that foam was soaking it up like a sponge. And now that it tapered into that pipe, there was a joint issue there so it's functioning how it was. It just, once it got into the pipe wasn't functioning like it was. So luckily it happened before we signed off on it to where we could get all that taken care of. I think it killed one. Josh went up there and what did it do to the copier? It was just what?
Reset it.
Yeah, there's a reset button that,
Turn it off, turn it back on.
and then there was a dead power bank but that's about it. I mean, if it would have went over.
Didn't
the
get any
computers,
other electrical stuff.
Fortunately,
Okay, good.
it could have been a lot worse.
Hmm.
But that's my life at the library. Daily, so,
And how did you discover that? You just drove by there?
well, being over the museum and dealing with that water the last couple of years, every time it rains, I just lay there just wondering how much water is going into the buildings. And so with the roof project going on, I just wanted to make sure they dried us in appropriately, which they did. But then I walked in there and I heard it was like a shower going off I turned around and just left. I wanted to go to bed early that night too. So 10:30,
That's some of them things. Someone's doing the roof here.
man,
Yeah.
there's video of me that, I mean, I
Makes you
talked to
kind of
myself for about 20 minutes, wondering, rethinking my life.
Your decisions, all your decisions. Okay, well, it's a good thing you were on top of that.
Mine's not as eventful as Chris's. I just am hiring a janitor
Oh,
for the
okay.
library.
I'll call you next time. You can go
Yeah.
up there.
And because of me, I'm gonna be in Austin this week. The interviews probably won't happen until next week, but Labor Day. So I only have like 2 days to interview. And so it may be me cleaning the library for the first 2 weeks of September.
Oh, that's good.
That'd be
Good for
fun.
you, right?
Is Jody still up there?
Yeah, she's still employed. She'll be there till the end of August.
Okay, so if you'll just get with me on
Okay.
the date of her last day. That way we know we're there and then who you plan on coming in, those coming off.
Okay, yes. All right, thanks.
Hey, that's something to put on your resume.
There you go, yeah. Always need those extra kudos.
Right? Okay, anything else on item 22? All right, item 23 is to consider and or approve the sale of struck off tax properties, and I don't have any this time. I know, yes.
Can I add, like, do you guys want to do the ARP if on the drain liner, do you want me to do, well, I forgot about asking. You guys want to do contingency or do you want me to do ARP or how would y'all want to handle that?
On what?
On the drain line
Yeah.
liner, it's gonna be 10 to
11,000.
12,000.
I don't-
Do we have any more I mean, as of now, do we have any other contingency?
Potential.
Right.
I don't know of anything else right now.
I'm probably gonna need more money for my mentor.
Whatever you want to do.
for
I'll
your.
plan on contingency, but if something else happens, we can move around.
It could be fine.
Chris may need more for his mental bill too, at the
Yeah.
library.
To share it. Not to share it.
And there's 126,000.
There's how much?
126,000.
Just want to do what you want to do.
Contingency, everyone, okay.
Yeah,
What you want, that sounds good to me.
All right, item 24 is our public hearing on our proposed tax rate and proposed salary increases. We want public out there have anything to say? Once going fast. Okay, the next item on the agenda is our budget work session for budget 23-24. Leisha? She laughs. We're getting there.
Okay. The only thing that I still need to update on the budget is the copier line items.
Right, we're
I'm
still working on
still
that.
waiting for Benchmark to get. We got the bill, but it's all just a lump sum bill, so I need to get it broke out by department, so I'm waiting on them to get me an invoice broke out by department. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the revenue. The revenue is kind of what it is. You can
Scroll down.
have it. Right there.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, so for the county judge. Her,
Mental health. We're gonna.
mental health line, like we said, is way over budget already.
I've had 17,000 in there for the last couple of years, I think, but we hadn't even got close. So maybe 14, but this year is way over.
Yes. So it's like at 27,000 right now. Part of that is some backlog from the previous year that Potter County didn't get the invoices to us. So we've had to pay this year. That was about 47. So it still makes it about $5,800 over as of right now. So it's probably gonna end up at least 10,000 over. So I would suggest adding some more into that line item. And part of it is recouped through court costs.
Most of it is, but that's paid to the county clerk's office.
And so it just goes into the revenue
Right.
fees to offset that.
So what are y'all suggesting? 22, 25?
Let's go 25. It's not quite 10,000.
Yeah.
It's 8,000.
Yeah, I had put 23, but I think 25 is good.
Okay, are y'all okay with that?
And then also on her court-appointed attorneys, she's got 35,000, but last year she was at 37,000. This year she's already at 36,000. So I think we need to up that to about 40. More people are qualifying for. Right. And requesting access to court-appointed attorney.
I think that's it on mine, isn't it?
Yes. And then, so are we okay with 40,000?
Yes.
Okay. On. I think it's the 84th. Yes, on the 84th. So Josh, it should be page like 13. He has already hit his court-appointed attorneys as well at 165,000, which is what we've got budgeted. So I'm thinking we might need to up his as well. Maybe like 170,000.
Where are we at on the 3/16?
The 3/16 still has,
Are we moving money out of 3/16 to 84th to
we
pay
haven't
his?
yet because He still has money in his other line items that are offsetting it.
Okay,
I'm just leaving it as over budget because his department is still pretty, his whole department as a whole is enough to cover it.
so we've got, how much do we have? 165? But proposed?
Yes.
And what did you recommend?
I would
170?
say 170. Because he's at 165, 712 as of the 23rd of August. He
Okay,
still has
are y'all good with 170?
another month. And probably a half, because there's probably some that we
Right,
just paid that wasn't included in that 165.
So we're gonna add that, you wanna add that and not touch the 316th appointed attorneys? Is that what you're saying?
I didn't make any changes to the 316th.
316 still has quite a bit in the budget.
Because usually that's
Right.
get bounced back and forth.
Right, he's got 275 budgeted right now. The last 3 years, we've been at 258, 305, 272. Right now, he's at 220. So I don't
Still
know
got,
how much is going to,
still got 55,000 in there.
right. I'd
but
leave that
like I
alone.
said, it's probably still a month and a half at least. And maybe even more than that, because we get court-appointed attorneys throughout
Right,
until November that will go back into this budget. Because it's for those court dates in September.
What did they say about it?
They haven't said anything. This is just my suggestion for the 84th because he is already over budget. They requested 275 and the 165.
Want to talk to them then, and see what they.
I don't want to get in the habit of precedents of us changing people's budgets. Just without the department head telling us
Okay, I can.
they would like that.
They know more about what they're gonna need than we do.
I mean, like with the judge, she's here, so she could chime in, but everybody else, it would be,
Okay, yeah, I'll get with
We don't
Rancho
want-
and
yeah,
see
this,
how he feels about it.
I think they'll be.
of course, I doubt anybody will say, oh, no.
We don't want more money.
Yeah, definitely give me more money.
And it could be, maybe this was just an
Yeah.
odd year that passed, I mean, with court appointed stuff, it's all going up.
Yeah.
Yes, there's not really much we can do about it.
But I kind of like the idea of just swapping between those two,
Yeah.
increasing.
Isn't that kind of normal? I mean,
Yes, we've done it every year.
yeah,
Okay,
you've had to take out one, put in the other one.
okay.
But if we are gonna raise that one, that's why I was bringing up 316th. I don't just like adding extra when there's extra in the other one. Or still,
Between the two of them, there's probably enough.
I just wanted to point it out because it is already over the proposed budget.
Okay,
Okay. And then the only other updates that I made is that we've had open enrollment for the health insurance. And so I have made those changes that Amy gave me.
did we have many changes?
We did, well, not many, the DA's office, we had one change from one, I think he had his children and he dropped to not having his children. The district clerk had one that waived insurance. The county treasurer, this was just a mistake on my part. She has an 80-20 plan, but I had her budgeted as well for HSA contributions. So I just took those HSA contributions out. The sheriff, I think, had a couple. Yeah, for Kim.
Oh, for Kim.
Yeah, because I had you on there and whenever I switched it, it didn't take off the
I
125.
was like, oh.
And so there was a little bit of change on the sheriff and a little bit of change in the jail.
Anything else?
And those are on the one that I sent out to you Friday.
Should be that.
That's kind of all. And just, I know the district judges and county attorney, they have to send in an affidavit, and I just wanted to make sure that the 200 a month is set in stone. So that I could let him know so he can send in his affidavit.
Well, you saw that one from Judge Brancho. The email from him that he's given 4%.
Yes. But for his,
For his people.
right, but this is, so he can put an affidavit in for his salary. How much are we given in his supplement?
Oh, yeah, we talked about that.
We add his orders to the budget. Yeah.
No, I haven't received anything from. I haven't received any orders.
Right.
I mean,
Well,
I got the email.
he's, yeah, but they won't get us the orders till after the 11th, I think. So we probably need to go ahead and put that 4% in for, because he said that we would get the orders, but it probably will be after the 11th, and we're gonna
Okay.
file the budget on the 11th, hopefully.
Okay.
He said the public hearing's the second week, sometime the second weekend of September, so he'd send that down then, but yeah. We need to probably plan for that.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
He said he's gonna send the orders sometime after the second week in September, so
Oh,
we'll probably,
Be after the 11th.
yeah. And he didn't say he was thinking about it, he was just telling us he will be, so I mean,
It's in that email with the
I think we need to go ahead and put that, budget that in there.
okay.
Hey, anything else? Everything else is good?
But for his county supplement, he is getting the 4%, or is he getting the 200? Because I think he was just applying it to his employees.
Yes, that was my understanding also.
And so on his supplement, we're doing the 200 a month, which
Mhm.
brings it to 18,240.
So he gets the full 200 a month increase.
If that's what we decide on,
we were talking about it, hits him over they get the supplement, so it comes out of the state thing.
it comes out of the, they reduce it on the state side. And I guess, Lisa, you talked to both of them, right? And they
Yes,
said
they are
they were
both
okay with that.
Yeah, I did some background checking on that to kind of see, I even used the listserv. And really, nobody wants to touch it.
Mm-mm.
And I said, okay,
Just correlate.
Yeah.
Correlate.
yeah, and that one was kind of confusing. And nobody wants to answer my question, not even TAC. I said, okay.
It's pretty much whatever you want to do.
Well, when we can say one thing, but they can send us orders for something else.
That's true.
Just kind of the way that works. Okay, anything else? So we did add a new line item to consider and or approve any changes to the proposed fiscal year 24 budget that the Commissioners Court considers warranted by the law and required by the interest of the taxpayers. Just so we can cover ourselves with making, it was kind of a recommendation from Nathan, wasn't it?
Yes.
To cover ourselves for the changes that we make to the proposed budget. So Alicia's kind of outlined a couple of changes that we're going to make to the outlined budget. And then we've got the $200 a month raise already figured in.
Yes,
Okay,
which that's already in the proposed.
in the proposed, so we
Yes,
don't
so the
need,
amendments to the proposed, would be the update to the insurance.
Right.
Based on open enrollment would be to add or to change the mental health from 17,000 to 25,000. The county judge, court-appointed attorneys would be to change it from 35,000 to 40,000. To increase the 84th employees to the 4% raise increase instead of the 200 a month. And I think that's. all.
And that's it. Okay. We probably need to get a motion for that.
I move to approve the changes to the proposed fiscal year 24 budget as presented by the auditor.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Okay, we need to probably, so we set our proposed tax rate at 56. We're gonna have to set our actual budget and actual tax rate at our next meeting. So do y'all want to have some discussion on that? Are y'all, what are you thinking about where we want to land on the tax rate?
With the proposed at 56. And then we have the contingency of 500,000.
Mhm,
It left 85,000
right,
fund or reserve or whatever that would be called.
Unbalanced.
Fund
that
balance.
change, yeah.
Yeah,
And that's leaving the tax rate at
at
56.
56.
That doesn't, so it kind of got eaten away by those changes.
That's what I was about to
Yes.
say. Yeah.
I mean, it'll be less now.
Yeah.
So,
With the salary increases and that.
so that's, I mean, we'll have to set that next,
Yeah.
the next meeting. So that's something to think about. Once Leisha makes all these changes and gets that information out, then y'all can kind of look at that and be thinking about.
Because initially I was thinking we'll just set it at 56 and then give some wiggle room. but
Right.
With the increases needing. There is no.
A lot of wiggle room.
Very much.
56 may be it.
Yeah.
It may have to stay the same. Maybe. Well, we see what the final figures are, then we'll.
Yep.
And I'll get that to you by the end of the week.
Okay.
And updated so that you can see what the bottom line will be, and I'll give you different scenarios at different rates.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, appreciate that.
We have all done a great job. I mean,
Leisha's worked hard on this.
really smooth budget numbers, at least. I feel like I know what I'm doing. I really feel like I do.
Right.
And feelings are,
Does make it easier, doesn't
it
it?
does.
Do we have any more discussion on the budget? Is there anything y'all want to talk about, or are we good until next time?
Think we're good.
Okay,
Know anything.
all right. Do y'all have anything else? Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?